I used to play this game. I don't know its name because I came up with it myself, but the purpose of it is to look at someone and then try to imagine what it would be like to be him. So when I was studying to become a lawyer, I would look at my professor and I would think, what would it be like to be him? And I would visualize him with his girlfriend sitting on the couch. But then I would look at him again and I would see the hair sticking out of his ear and I would think, maybe he doesn't have a girlfriend. And when I was thinking about this, I also thought, what would it be like to be him and then to actually teach us? He would be standing in front of some interested students, some bored ones, some curious ones. But I didn't limit myself to this. One day I would try to think what it would be like to be the girl sitting right next to me in class. And then another day we would discuss a murder case. And instead of thinking about the legal subjects, I would try to think what it would be like to be that murderer. In my game, this is what it was all about. Trying to stretch your empathy as big as it can be. Trying to put yourself in someone else's shoes. My story is about this, trying to put yourself in someone else's shoes. It's about empathy. Empathy is the starting point for many things. For me, it's the starting point for ideas and imagination. And I wanted to turn those ideas into tangibles. So instead of becoming a lawyer, I graduated at the Royal Academy of Art. And today I run a concept studio where we work on all different kinds of projects, but I will tell you 2 recent projects that we've made, 2 experiences where empathy, getting yourself in the mind of someone else, was the starting point. My first story starts in Japan. A couple of years I got the opportunity to work and live in Japan, and as you can imagine, it's super interesting to be in a country where you've never been, because everything is new, so you're looking around and discovering all these new things. And I was doing that. But then one day, I stepped into the subway and I set myself opposite to this man. And of course, I knew the stories about Japanese businessmen making very long working hours. But when I looked at him, I also saw something different. I saw someone that was commuting the exact same way every day in. And I think if you are making the exact same journey day in, day out, you kind of stop looking around because there's no reason to discover anything new. You've all seen it, so you kind of stop looking outside. And I think we can all relate to that. So I thought about this. Can I actually do something about that? Can I change the way that we look? Can I make something that is very boring into something worthwhile looking again? So I came up with a very small idea. It only exists out of 2 stickers. 2 stickers that change the way we commute. And the day I came up with that idea was the birth of the man-eater. Thank you. In collaboration with the public transport operator, we got these stickers in every single tram in Amsterdam. And it was amazing to see how people reacted to it. It was really cool to see how something that small could actually change the way that they were commuting. But the only thing was that there was one single group that didn't participate in this fun. And I started looking at this, and I thought, this is actually a group I've also seen just as much in Japan as I've seen it in Amsterdam. And it's the group of the people that are actually on their phone. And I think when you're watching on your phone and you have your head bowed down, you kind of stop looking around, and every possibility to look outside and to discover something new is gone. And so you might be surprised that the next project I'm going to talk about is actually an application we are right now working on that is for on your phone. But it all started with this. One single night where a friend of mine invited me to make a little tour on his boat on this lake, and it was a beautiful evening. And we were in the middle of that lake, and I said to my friend, I wish we could have a photo of this. I wish we could actually capture this particular moment. But then I said, like, we could try to make a selfie, but that would never capture what it's actually like. And right when I said that, I saw a man standing on the shore, and he was actually taking photos of us. And I said to my friend, I wish I could have that photo that he just made. I wish I could see what he actually saw and how he saw us in the boat on the lake. But of course, there's no way to do that. I mean, you can try to shout your phone number, but it will never work. And then I thought, this is interesting. So when I came back to my studio, I talked about this with my team, and I said, maybe we can replicate this, because I'm curious, what does it look like when you get to see how someone else sees you? So one day we started this experiment, and my project assistant would go on the corner of the street while I was sitting and drinking coffee on the terrace. And she would ask people to participate in this experiment. And when they did, she would hand them a photo of me with my phone number. And she would ask them, can you have a look at this guy? And when you walk around and you walk back to wherever you're going to, then please look around and see if you can find him. And when you actually see him, then take a photo of him. And then send it over straight to his phone. So while I was enjoying my drink, I sometimes heard a giggle, but all these photos started pouring in. And it was really weird to witness how suddenly so many people were actually participating in this. And I was sitting there, and I was just drinking my coffee, but after a while I saw a man sitting right next to me, and he had kind of a weird expression on his face, and he said to me, should I know you? And I didn't get it, so I asked, like, what do you mean? And he said, well, I've been sitting here a while, and I've seen all these people taking photos of you, so you must be famous. And right there and then, it struck me, because I thought, if now suddenly, because people are taking pictures of me, I am famous, then they must be the paparazzi. And I thought, what can we do with this? Can we make this into something? Because in my daily life, I often see beautiful moments in the lives of other people. And I think it would be really cool if I could actually capture such a moment and then get it sent straight to that person that's actually in the photo, even though it's a complete stranger, straight to their phone. And right now, this is what we're working on. It's a project called Shoot Me. And in Shoot Me, you receive photos of yourself made by complete strangers. We are now testing this on a local school, and it's amazing to see how 100 students were suddenly all interacting. So the device that often keeps you actually from looking around and to discover someone else or to interact turned into something where people start to interact even with people that they've never met. I'll leave you with this. I'm not here to teach you a lesson, but I hope I gave you a little bit of an insight of what it's like to be in my mind. I really like to step in the shoes of someone else and then try to look around and see what's there, to come up then with projects like Shoot Me and the Man-Eater. And I try to spark the curiosity through looking around, or the simple act of looking around, and then rediscovering what's already there. Thank you.